In. There we go.
It does. Don't worry.
All
right.
yours.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me. My name is Corey Freed. I am from Austin 2014's cohort. So you might notice that my summary said I'd be presenting from the Art Museum steps, and I did not get there today. I ran my first marathon last week, and the recovery is taking a little longer than I had hoped. So I had to sit out of today's 5K. The point of today's session is about small changes that really make an impact. So as you can see, I started with a picture of myself from 2014, and you can see that obviously I am a lot larger in that picture. And at that point, I also could barely walk a mile. Just getting from our hotel to the Google office in Austin, I was huffing and puffing. I was tired, and it was just a really bad physical. Like, you couldn't really teach in front of your students when you could barely stand for more than an hour. And I realized that, something had to change, something had to improve. That's when I downloaded free apps. Free apps run the world these days. So this first one to the left, C25K, actually stands for Couch to 5K. And it's a really popular app that it worked, sort of. I didn't actually get from a couch to a 5K, but I did get moving. A little encouragement. It starts with walking and slowly doing like maybe 5 minutes of walking and 90 seconds of running. And then the more you go, as you follow its little calendar, it sends you reminders to get out there and exercise. And you start to get a little faster, and you start to find yourself running more and walking. So that was the first app I downloaded, and that's what really got me on this road to getting healthier. The second app is FitnessPal, where I'm counting calories, and that's when I really made a huge transformation. So now I had increased my exercise, I had decreased my food intake, and pounds started to come off. For those of you that did know me back in 2014, I was probably eating 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. I physically needed that much energy, but because I was hungry and I ate. So when I started to actually track how much I was eating, just seeing those numbers go up made you realize, hey, I don't need the chocolate bar. Hey, I don't need the fried chicken. And I started making those healthier decisions. Now, as I've been more on this journey, I did switch apps again, and I currently use Strava. I actually recommend Strava because it's kind of like a social media for sports. So whenever you go for your run, you turn it maps it, and you can give other people kudos, which is their version of like and love, and you can comment on other people's, you can join clubs, you can join challenges, and it's just really, it gives you that social aspect that the other apps were missing. The other really is it has what beacon. So every time I go for a run, it sends a text message to my emergency contact. They now have my GPS coordinates, and if were to happen, I know that somebody knows exactly where I am at any time. So I did mention that at the beginning, I could barely walk a mile, got winded really quickly. So I wanted to start up from the treadmill. This was 2016 when I first downloaded Couch to 5K. And that quote on the top actually came from a meme, but it's really true. No matter how slow you go, you're still lapping everyone on the couch. So even if you're walking a half hour to go half a mile, you're still moving for a half hour. And compared to somebody eating popcorn, you're doing really well. Now, I'm not saying you can't always eat popcorn on the couch because, like I said, I did get a little injured last week, so I am taking it easy this week. But it's still about that constantly moving forward. And the whole point of doing it is it's not going to get easier. Trust me, around mile 15 last week, I wanted to quit that marathon, but I didn't because I worked so hard. This is 5 years I've been running, 5 years I was training, and I was not going to give up. This picture here was my first Broad Street run, huge thing here in Philadelphia. It is 10 miles. And you could see at that time, compared to that first picture, I was definitely a lot smaller. I also, that another little disclaimer about that calorie counting app, it can get a little obsessive. And I did end up getting a little obsessive. I now see a registered nutritionist, and she's been helping me get healthy without overdoing it again. From start to finish, I lost 100 pounds. I've never about, but it is definitely, I am healthier now than I was at the skinniest because I really did get too far into it. And then the other thing is when you are doing runs, have fun with it. This one was actually at Sesame Place. I ran with Elmo and Cookie Monster, and it was a fundraiser for school scholarships at a local school district. So they hosted it. You ran through the park, and yeah, you got to take pictures with Cookie Monster at the end of the finish line. Abid just wrote in the comments that he's also struggled with his weight, and he bought an Apple Watch and he's addicted to closing those rings. I have a Fossil watch, and I'm actually purchasing a Garmin one for Black Friday. Another thing about me, if you don't know, Black Friday is like my favorite day of the year. But I have already decided I am upgrading my watch. Having a good fitness watch is really helpful because if you notice right now, I'm a little hoarse. Last week, I actually had an asthma attack during the marathon, and it was my watch that alerted me that I was having a little issue. Because, I just thought, oh, I'm exerting myself more. I know that I have asthma. I was ignoring it. So my watch actually did help. And I stopped for a few minutes, puffed my inhaler, went into the first aid station. They gave me some more Gatorade. And once I was okay, I continued. So yeah, fitness watches are really good when you are doing exercise to monitor yourself so you don't go too far. All right. And then I put the quote. I don't know why I chose this picture because like I told you, I did get a little obsessed at that point. But doing this exercise is not about winning prizes. You get participation ribbons for doing all these runs. And I put those there just because I knew I was going to pick them up. But you don't do these marathons to win. You don't do to win. The guy who the marathon yesterday did it in 2 hours and 10 minutes, I believe, was the prize from last week for New York. I did it in 7 hours. There was no way I can get hours to 2:20 to beat the first place winner. Running is about improving yourself. And that's something else you'll see on the Strava app. They talk about what's called a PR, personal record. I'm not trying to beat you. I'm trying to beat myself. So every time I run a 5K, I'm trying to beat my score from the previous 5K. That's what it is. It's about being a better you. So somebody else just wrote in the comments that they do the marathons for the free t-shirts. I love the posters that say free banana. Interestingly enough, you spend so much money on that race that t-shirt's not actually free, but that's a whole other can of worms that we can get into. The nice thing though about all of these runs is meeting people. Last week, I ran with 30,000 strangers. I now have 30,000 new friends. Okay, reality, I'm probably that I met last week, but I still met new people. We still connected on that Strava app, and we're still going to stay connected. So I know that somebody in the earlier session actually did a session on mental health. Another really important thing about this exercise. Mental health is so important right now. And I will tell you that I am the type of person that needs help with mental health a lot of the time. And running has definitely helped clear my mind. It helped me focus. And it's helped me realize that some of those things that used to stress me are not anymore. And Holly, yes, that is how you spell it. It's in the Play Store and it's in the Apple Store. It is a great app. I can link to my profile after, and you can definitely follow me on it. But yeah, so the mental health is a huge aspect of exercise. And when you get outside and you get that fresh air and you keep heart pumping, it's definitely going to give you those endorphins and that good feeling, and it's going to help. There are some days where I wake up at 5 a.m. and go for a run before I get ready for work. Some of those days it's pitch black out, and I will also tell you that I do have a flashlight belt. I feel like Iron Man when I wear it, because it literally is just a flashlight sitting right here on my. But I do get out there at 5 a.m. and go for runs now. So I mentioned today was supposed to be the Rocky Run, and it is currently going on down at the Art Museum steps. Because of my little illness from last week, I sat out of this 5K. But this is 2018, 2018. 2020 was virtual, and obviously today it's back. But you can see there are so many people around you, and everyone is just excited and happy. Nobody is sitting there thinking, why am I awake at 5 a.m? Everyone is sitting there getting ready to go. All right, Holly, I have my last slide is going to really impact you on that quote you just said. Not one, next slide. But this one is probably one of my favorite memes that I found. Obviously, I'm not the meme. I put the quote from the meme. But today when I was running, I heard someone clapping. It was just cheering me on. It is going to take time, and you are going to start slow, and you are going to go faster as you continue. And that's something that's going to happen. And it's important to know, as I said before, you're not racing everyone else. You're racing yourself. Last week at the marathon, I was very fortunate. I won a Twitter contest, and I was part of what's called Team Ultra. Team Ultra is sponsored by Michelob Ultra Beer, and they gave me a shirt to wear that said Team Ultra, and it had my name on it, and it was really cool because as I'm running down the marathon, all of these strangers on the side of the street, these people that are annoyed that traffic is blocked, these people that can't leave their houses, you know, live in New York and are used to going underground to the subway, so they couldn't actually be on the street. They're all screaming, "Go, Corey! You could do it, Corey! Come on, Corey! You got this! 18 more miles! Come on, Corey!" It was so inspirational. Random strangers that have no idea who I am were just cheering me on for 26.2 miles. That 0.2 miles at the end, you really do feel that extra 0.2. It was really cool that all these people were cheering me on and cheering it on. And then this quote, well, this is just the pictures from the marathon because, like I said, I was on Team Ultra. That Twitter contest, we had our own VIP start. So whereas you always see those pictures from the marathon and it's like older, there were only 96 of us for the 96 calories in the beer. Kids of us, people of us, starting that marathon at that point. So I was able to get some really cool. And I'm very proud that I did not finish in 2 hours and 30 minutes, but I finished in under 7 hours, 56 seconds. I like to keep pointing out I did it in under 7 hours. It was less than a minute, but it was under 7. And Holly, this is the quote for you. A 12-minute farm, 6 mile. You're all going to the same finish space. They might get there faster, but you still got. And that's really the most important thing, is to not give up and to keep trying. Somebody actually said to me at the after party that they thought I had more courage than the people that finished in 3 hours because they wouldn't have had the mental stamina to keep going for 7 hours. They would have just been bored. And to me, it was honestly, it was proving to myself I can do it. The marathon was proving how far I've come since this all started when I first decided to exercise and when I first decided to get healthy. So again, it's always going to be a challenge against yourself. I can't judge myself against Usain Bolt. I will never run as fast as him, but I can run faster than myself. That's the key. That's the strategy, is to worry about yourself, improve yourself. And if you improve by 1 second, you've still improved by 1 second. And if you slow down by 1 second, you probably stopped at the porta potty. And I say that because even in the middle of the race, the porta potties had lines. So do what's best for you. Be happy with you. And just try. I thought about in Strava starting a group, like a private group in Strava just for Google innovators that we could all support each other. I wasn't sure if there already was a group though, and I didn't want to just start a second one. So I was still doing a search. But we can start our own private group on the Strava app where we can encourage, we can share tips, we can share virtual events. I know someone from my cohort, Joe. You probably all know Joe. He started EDU Fit during quarantine. He also lost a lot of weight, and he has his own hashtag now, blogs about it. But that's what we need to do. We need to build up, because when you are getting healthier, and again, small changes make those big differences, it's going to make a huge impact on everything. Your day, teaching, you're going to have more energy and you're going to be overall good. Not at first. You're going to be in pain at first, but you will feel good after a while. And I will close with my medal from the marathon that I earned with blood, tear, and sweats. And I did actually tear up when I crossed the finish line, so there was tears. So thank you all for joining me. I will get that link for Strava and put it in the chat real quick. Well, but I appreciate all of you. If you wanted to follow my running journey, I did start blogging about it, but it's not really the most entertaining blog. It was more for myself. And this link here, that's my athlete page on Strava. So if you click it, you can follow me, and it'll also help you join Strava and get started. But thank you all, and congratulations to the new cohort of innovators. I look to meeting you all in person someday. FETC is going to be my first in-person conference in 2 years. I'm so excited for Florida. But have a great day, and head over to the next